Kyle Rittenhouse, the young man who was acquitted for defending himself during the Black Lives Matter related riots a few years ago in Kenosha, Wisconsin, is now the subject of criticism among MAGA Republicans. Why? Because Mr. Rittenhouse put out a meme on the platform formerly known as Twitter, now X, in which he highlighted the former president's terrible record on trying to stand up for the Second Amendment. In fact, Donald Trump has been in favor of some horrible gun control actions. Remember, my friends, Donald Trump did institute a bump stock ban, which was ironically overturned by his appointees that he put on the Supreme Court, thank God. He has also advocated for red flag laws. He has also advocated for taking someone's guns without due process. These things are indefensible. Now, I understand someone who would want to vote for Donald Trump. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it, but what I will say is that criticizing Mr. Rittenhouse for standing up for a fundamental American principle like the right to self-defense is indefensible. If these conservatives who claim to care about the Constitution and claim to care about gun rights and claim to care about the rights that we hold sacred as Americans really meant what they said, even if they disagreed with Kyle, they wouldn't be criticizing him and blocking him on social media. I'm really tired of groupthink. I am really tired of people who only want to stand up for rights when the opposing party tries to attack them. Rights are supposed to be paramount. Rights come before anything. They come before political party allegiance or any sort of those things. That's why I personally despise the two-party system, because I believe that a lot of these people that are associated with parties would vote for a candidate just so long as the party endorsed it. They think that voting for a Republican or voting for a Democrat is automatically better than doing the inverse. And even, yes, with third parties. If you vote for someone, vote for them because you believe in them. Now, he decided to write in Ron Paul. I want you to listen to his statement.
Hi, I'm Kyle Rittenhouse, Outreach Director for Texas Gun Rights. A lot of people are upset that I said I'm going to be writing in Ron Paul for President of the United States. And that is true. I will be writing in Ron Paul. Unfortunately, Donald Trump had bad advisors making him bad on the Second Amendment, and that is my issue. If you cannot be completely uncompromisable on the Second Amendment, I will not vote for you, and I will write somebody else in. We need champions for the Second Amendment, or our rights will be eaten away and eroded each day. I support my decision, and I have no takebacks.
I love former Congressman Ron Paul. I understand Kyle Rittenhouse's way of thinking. I tend to agree with it. If you have something that is paramount to you, and your rights should be, I understand not being able to vote for someone in good conscience. I was that way with Donald Trump since 2016. Now, full disclosure, I did vote for him in 2020, but that was a decision that I made. I did not feel at that time that I was compromising any core principles. But your rights must be paramount. They must come before any decision of supporting a party. If you really care about the Constitution the way conservatives claim to, and the fact that conservatives who did claim that they loved Donald Trump and loved Kyle Rittenhouse are now coming out and disowning Mr. Rittenhouse because he says, I can't do this in good conscience. They're hypocritical. You fall victim, my friends, if you're the ones doing this, to the same cult of personality that you criticize the left for. And I'm sick of it, because it has been my experience that both conservatives and the left can be just as guilty of this, depending on the situation. This cult of personality has to stop. Rights must come before political allegiance. Now, if you decide to vote for Donald Trump, that's your prerogative. But how dare you criticize someone who is standing up for something that is bigger than any political candidate? I'm not going to defend Donald Trump's record because it's horrible when it comes to gun rights. But I understand the people who want to vote for him because Kamala Harris would be a terrible option. But you should be able to work within the same framework and not criticize someone who just happens to have a difference of opinion on how best to address an issue when it comes to voting. You should still be able to work with those people if you really care about the rights that you claim to, instead of only standing up for them when the opposing party wants to attack them. What about the enemies within? Now, am I calling Donald Trump an enemy? No, not necessarily. I do believe the man loves America, but I don't believe he has a fundamental understanding of constitutional rights the way he should. And so that's why you get squishy decisions at best on some issues. I do not believe Donald Trump is the most conservative candidate. I think the reason that he comes off conservative to a lot of people is because the left has pushed so far left within recent decades. And so it makes somebody like Donald Trump, who really is more moderate, come off as more conservative. But when you look at the record is not the stalwart of conservatism. So if you really care about the Constitution and the American way of life, you shouldn't be criticizing Kyle Rittenhouse, a man who's out there doing the work to stand up for the Second Amendment, just because he disagrees with your candidate. And this really has to stop, because if we keep continuing down this road, we're no better than the left. Stop with the groupthink and fight for things that are more important. Please like, share, and subscribe. Help me get this message out, and I'll see you in the next video.